Oh, this is great. North Central Grand Final. The excitement of it all. I was as excited as everybody, I reckon, this week when I was in the main street with my next guest, Dale Hinkley. Great to catch up in person and now to have a preview of North Central footy. And Dale, well, the main street's coloured in purple and green.
Yeah, it was, Flo, man. It was good to catch up and see you in town. The community and the wider area is really buzzing across the North Central as we're on the eve of grand final time tomorrow.
Yeah, there's hockey too. North Central's one of these comps that's gone further than just football, netball. You have hockey. And I think if I'm right, across all of the grades of the 8 teams, everyone is represented right throughout. If you look at each of the different sports, hockey, netball and football.
Yeah, they are. It's going to be good representation across all 3 sports, Flo, man. And, it's going to be a really central location over there at Wycheproof tomorrow. They're going to put on a really good show from all reports. And, there's been a bit of rain over here late in the week, Flo, man, since you've left the area. So it's going to be quite damp underfoot, but I think it's going to be partly sunny and, pretty good conditions.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I was driving out yesterday and I was hit by showers right throughout your areas and it was beautiful to see, but a fair bit of rain, more than maybe what's needed at the moment for some of the rust that's going in on some of the crops. But Dale, outside of that, it is the big grand final. And for you blokes, what does it mean? Like, you've been up there for the last 4 or 5 years, even before COVID, losing a couple of grand finals in senior footy to the Sea Lake Nandali Tigers. You've now got the nemesis out of the way, but the old foe, Donald, now comes along, and they may want to stop you. But what is the excitement like in the town?
Oh, it's ecstatic, Wayne. We've been here for a few years now, as you said, 4 or 5 years. If you add in those COVID seasons, we didn't get to have a final series. Obviously, another opportunity, and like Donald, opportunity for their club in a number of grades as well. So I think it's very cyclical. I'd say our time at the moment, we've been pushing for one, so it's going to be pretty huge if we can pull it off tomorrow.
I know the excitement when we're in the coffee shop there, O'Donnell's in the main street, really a terrific place to go and have a coffee. That you could see it with even the staff before you came. You were flat chat in the main street doing a lot of things, and then I was just watching and observing, and it's just so much excitement in the Sharps Bakery and down in the butcher shop there at Burke's. Had a good chat there, and they were very excited up there in the Nutrient. Very excited, and of course Matt Ryan and his commodities, they're going to be a key sponsor on Flow, and we thank Matt for doing that and bringing this Dale Hinkley report for North Central. But let's have a look at it last week, because Donald beat Sea Lake in a big upset, 15-11, 101 to 10-8, 68. The only people that will say it wasn't an upset, Flow man, were the Donald Royal Blues, because they knew, Dale, that they had the cattle and they beat the Sea Lake Nandali Tigers.
They did. They bounced back, Flo man, and rallied their troops, and they had a really fast start. There was a 2 or 3 goal breeze over there at Charlton Park last week, and fast pace. The midfield broke the lines, and it was probably too quick in that midfield battle on the day, Flo man, given circumstances. However, it was steadied in the second quarter and the third quarter. Sea Lake kicked back a few goals, and really in the fourth quarter they kicked away 4-4 to 2-2. So it was a really pleasing win for Donald, and as well as they were able to get their reserves in too. So,
that's actually good. We're going to look at that in a minute. Lee Berg kicked 4 goals. James Wall and Ross Young, we know how good he is, but some of their other players, Ryan Hards, Daniel Vendetti, they were good. Your boy Riley Barrick, I know you've mentioned him a few times, but the other lads, James Wall, Ryan Hards, how are these guys going? Where are they fitting in?
Yeah, they're fitting in around that midfield area, Flo man. They got a bit of age about them, so they've got plenty of experience at this time of the year. They were just able to move the ball. Moving the ball quite well, and not turning it over, which is very important in finals footy to have good retention and make most of your opportunities when you get the ball in your hands.
Yeah, Austin Mertz, who is a brilliant player and was early leader in the medal, but was taken over later in the year. Brodie Weir has had a great season. Tom Cox, one of the young guns of the comp, and Trent Donnan, one of the guns of yesteryear. Billy McGuinness with 3, and Justin Ellis and John Summerhayes a couple apiece. Matty Elliott, the captain, be very disappointed to be out, but they are. Let's have a look at the twos. You mentioned that about Donald getting both sides in, and gee, that's a big get for them, because the grand final is now waiting, and it is Donald taking on Sea Lake Nandali Tigers. Let's look at the game. The Donald side, 11-5-71, beat your Birchip Watchem Reserves 8-6-54. There wasn't a lot in it, though.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was a bit of a nail-biter there. It was very close in that last quarter. However, our boys in the reserves, probably with the breeze in that third quarter, probably just didn't take hold of their opportunities and didn't score in that third quarter, which has probably hurt them at the end of the day. And as I said, Donald, really strong in the reserves all year, so they've got their chance after losing that second semi to go back and face up against the Sea Lake Tigers, which looked really good a couple of weeks ago.
They did. Callum Good kicked 4. That's a really impressive effort in your twos. Did any of your reserves then press for selection in your ones, or is your one settled?
We had Cormac Wilson, up and coming 18-year-old, and Paddy Sheen in the reserves, who have performed well all year. Flowman have had 7 to 8 games, so they can go either way. And there was obviously a couple of well-noted locals as Jake Noonan, Jack Goldie and Matt Berry had a really strong performance and tried their hardest to get the Bulls into their first grand final in the reserves for a long time. But nevertheless, the coaches were very proud. Andrew Franks and James Murray done a terrific job all year, and they hadn't won a final for around many years. I think it was since 2009, Flowman, so they were pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah. And so the Donald boys are happy to get both in. Cooper Anderson, he's a senior player. Tommy Letts and Brandon Walker, very good. Ryan Leader got going. And Bath and others got into it. Noah Berry, 4 goals were a very good performance from him. And they're certainly going to be a tough side when it comes to the grand final. Having looked down into the next grade, it is a look at the 17s. And we've seen some brilliant football played through the juniors this year. But this time around in a prelim final, it was Board 18-6, 114 to Birchip Watchem 10-3, 63. At half time, this was a pretty good game, 8-5 to 5-2. But the Board players like this Tom Potter and Fraser Holland, they got going. Cockerell too. They're those 3 kids that I think polled really well in the 17s medal, and they got going, and really, in the end, Birchip had no match for them in the second half.
No, they didn't play, man. They were really strong, as you mentioned, those names, Potter, Holland and Cockerell, I think that's what you said. We're really tall, and they're pretty well developed, and I expect them to have a pretty big influence tomorrow with the conditions being like it is. But with our boys in the under-17s, Jared Tyler, the coach, was very proud of their efforts. Ty Colbert, Jeslyn Daniel and Will Marks all had really good games for the club, and they were really, as I said, JT's had a really good year again with the juniors, and he'll continue to do so as we go forward.
Hey, tell you what, I was in the news agent, and I was talking about this young Ty Colbert, and the lovely lady behind the counter said, "He's my son." And I was then talking about this best and fairest winner of the Birchip Watchem Bulls, this young Daniel, and they own the news agency.
Yeah, that's correct. That is entirely correct there, Flowman. So the Daniel boys, they're pretty handy, and one's still in the under 14s, and he's one to watch coming forward.
Fraser Holland kicked 8 goals, marvellous effort from him for Board. That is just a dominating performance, particularly in the second half. Over to the final grade of the 14s, and gee, there's some good kids. This the competition's got going, and this was won by St Arnaud, 6-5-41 to the Sea Lake Nandali Tigers, 3-2-20, and what a performance for St Arnaud.
It was huge win, 21-point winners by the Saints in this one, Flowman. We both got this one wrong, thinking Sea Lake would get over the line. So the Saints are marching towards the grand final tomorrow.
They are, with young Chase Zander, a good player, and Frankie Donald. What about this Chad Hendy? Kicked a couple, as Aidan Wickham did too. And Cruz O'Sullivan, a player of the future, kicked 2 for the Sea Lake Nandaly Tigers. Braden Allen, Jacob Cox, Cruz O'Sullivan, Scott Barbary, Charlie Goldman, and also Callum Mott were in the better players there. Okay, the grand final day. It's at Wycheproof, as you mentioned earlier on. I know you can't tip it because you can only tip one way. You're going to go for the Birchip Watchem Bulls. I think it's your time, but gee, Donald are going to make it tough.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it's going to be a cracking game. So, everyone's looking forward to this one. You might be able to give us a few matchups on this one, Flowman. But, much similar sides to a couple of weeks ago. So, we're really hoping that we can control what we can control and, play the way we have for the second half of the year. And I think it'll hold us in good stead. So, really looking forward to putting that out there tomorrow. Yeah,
look, the matchups are going to be hard because we haven't got both sides in. But from previously, look, I think in the ruck it starts there. And if Haddo had that injury from a couple of weeks ago, their face injury, that'll be a key. Young's got to be stopped. You and I had a chat about this over a coffee and I think it's a herb scone with a bit of butter on that you like, Dale. So I reckon, if I do recall, the discussion was, if Young gets the ball, then he's damaging. You've got to stop him from getting it, and who goes to him becomes the question.
I think it'll be a team effort. There, Flowman. We've seen run with roles for long enough now. Sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't. But we're backing in our midfield group to get the job done in there. And Young, you got to give credit to him around the ball. He's going to have times when he'll cut you up by his left foot, but we're hoping we get in our hands more than he does.
Yes, Surrett in the ruck takes on the big man McNally there, and that's going to be an absolute beauty, as you'd expect it will be. Gordon up forward for you is a danger. They've got to find somebody to match up on him.
Yeah, they will. We've spoken about a few of their defenders that are likely to take him. He had a really good performance there a couple of weeks ago. So, we'll be very delighted if he can pull that off again tomorrow, which he loves the big stage. And, he'll be one to try and stop. So whether they do put that Riley Barrack back there or not, Flowman, we'll wait and see. He's pretty damaging for them, so they might want to free him up and get him up the ground. However, we'll be watching that one closely, and hopefully it goes our way.
Hopefully it goes your way after such a long innings. 21 years, I think I counted, and even if you take into account COVID, it's a 20-plus year situation, and what it would mean to your club. But Clayton, your brother, coming back to play footy with you, the two of you together, and then, of course, you've got some of the locals who've generationally, the Ryans of the family, the Hogan boys. There's 3 of them, I think, in your side. Steph Pye's been with you a long time too, and Elliot Jeske, one of your new guns who's come to the club this year. It is going to be a big game. I've picked the Birchip Watchem Bulls just to get over Donald in what will be a thrilling match of North Central footy. What about the twos you pick here?
In the twos, Flowman, I'm going to back in the Sea Lake Nandaly Tigers in this one. Just a couple of weeks ago, they were pretty slick, and with their seniors bowing out last week, I think they'll be putting a few back in there that haven't busted. So, 20-point winners last time. It'll be hard for them to see that result turn the other way. Yeah,
it certainly was. 13-4, 82 to 6-6-42 in that qualifier, and I'm going to go with you there. The Donald boys might just be disappointed with that from me tipping both times against them, but it's what you got to do. You got to look at it and guess it correctly, and I guess it probably incorrectly 50% of the time. Sea Lake Nandaly are playing Bort in the 17s. This is going to be a beauty. I don't know how you separate them. The last time was a close game. The Tigers 9-6 to 7-7 in the qualifier.
It will, Flowman. Tom Cox is likely to return to the Sea Lake Nandaly under 17s lineup this week, which will probably increase their chances. By 20 or 30%. I think he's a really good mover, and has proven he can hold his own in the senior level. And also after watching Bort last week, Tom Potter is a very, very strong, fast-running midfielder for the Port Magpies. So, I think it'll be, I think Sea Lake, just for their weight of numbers and, talent across the board, they'll probably get over the line in this one by a couple of goals.
I reckon they will. Donald take on Sonata. They should start the day. They could have 3 premierships at the end of the day in football, Donald, and I reckon they'll get their first one against Sonata in the early match. It starts at Wycheproof at 9:30. Last time it was a magnificent performance. Donald got their way into the Grandy over Sea Lake. Sea Lake then come along and in the next week got a big touch-up by St Arnaud. St Arnaud to come from nowhere, but I think Donald hold on.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one there, Flowman. Donald had a good year in the under-14s and they deserve to win this one.
They certainly do. It's an absolute ripping day. You've been on to your old mate and my old mate, Ricky Allen. Apparently he's got a bit of car parking out there. He's got a fair bit of room for people to get into the ground.
Yeah, no, he has plenty of room and he's making plenty of room for some stands and whatnot, so I believe. So, yeah, it'll be great. It's going to be a great atmosphere there. Football, netball and hockey. So, yeah, looking forward to the day tomorrow and what it brings.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic stuff. North Central Grand Final, big crowd, Wycheproof, massive of all sides, and all the very best to everyone competing. Umpires, those volunteering, and our thoughts on volunteering. The great volunteer, Queen Elizabeth II, Her Majesty, in her passing, we recognise that she has a great act of service that she gave to her community, and that is what we see with our volunteers across our broadcast areas, and particularly in our football competitions and netball and hockey in North Central. Love talking to you, and I'll talk to you next week, Dale, as we recap the season.
Yeah, good luck to all teams competing tomorrow, and good on you.